For a whiskey cocktail that's a little bit tiki, a little bit tropical, and very full of flavor, you need to try a Bronx Cheer. Let me show you how to make it. Welcome back to the channel. I'm Matt, I'm the Whiskey Nerd, and like I said, today I'm making a whiskey cocktail that's a little bit tiki, a little bit tropical, but very full of flavor. I'm making a Bronx Cheer, and this is a cocktail that I kind of got the idea for making it from when I was reviewing this whiskey right here. This is the Irishman Caribbean Cask. This is a very nice Irish whiskey. If you want to see a review of this whiskey, I'll put a link up there. I'll put a link down below, but it's a very nice Irish whiskey with a very sweet but spicy kind of flavor to it, because this here is a blended whiskey of single malt and single pot still Irish whiskey, which is the single pot still is a style of whiskey unique to Ireland, but is quite spicy. So it has similar kind of notes that you would expect in a cocktail like this, because the original version of this cocktail did feature either rye or bourbon, depending on where you go. You'll see some people saying rye, some people saying bourbon, because it is a Bronx Cheer. And apparently a Bronx Cheer is the sound when someone goes like that. So I'm not sure where the actual name originally comes from, but it's a fun little name. It's a very tasty little cocktail. For the rest of the ingredients, we are going to be going in with some Velvet Falernum, which is really much a staple in all these tiki, tropical, kind of Caribbean cocktails. It is sweet, it's spicy. It's not spicy like heat of spice, but more like aniseed, licorice, like those kind of like almost like botanical spices there, but it's very, very nice and adds a lot of flavor to these kind of tiki tropical cocktails. Also calls for a little bit of raspberry syrup. This is from Drinks Botanicals Ireland. I'll put a link down below to like a recipe where you can make your own version of raspberry syrup, but this here is very tasty, uses actual raspberries in it, so it's not all artificial, and gives it a lot of flavor to it. Last up, some freshly squeezed lime juice for a bit of zing, a bit of freshness, and a lot of flavor. And that's all there is to it, so I think we're going to stop talking about the cocktail and start making it. Starting off with our mixing tin, we're going to get a nice rock of ice and pop it into there. Before we measure out our ingredients, we're going to get our whiskey. This, like I said, is the Irishman Caribbean Cask, which is nice and full of flavor, but the original recipe you could use bourbon or rye or whatever whiskey you want. Very nice, very full of flavor. We're going to go in with 60ml or 2 ounces of our whiskey into there. This does come in at 46% alcohol by volume, so it does have a nice bit of flavor, it does have a nice bit of presence and weight in our cocktail. Then we're going to go in with our lime juice. We're going to go in with 30ml or 1 ounce of our lime juice into there, and then after this we're going to go in with 22.5ml or like 3/4 of an ounce of each of our raspberry syrup and our Velvet Falernum. So I've got this little measuring cup here which has a 3/4 of an ounce mark, but if you don't have it, you can either get your own or kind of eyeball 22.5ml or 3/4 of an ounce of this. And this is a nice thick, as you can see, syrup. It has actual raspberries in it, so it is quite nice and rich and gives a nice good bit of flavor to it. So we're going to go in there with 3/4 of an ounce, 22.5ml, and then oh yeah, look at that, look how thick and rich that is. Yeah. And then our Velvet Falernum, going to go in again 3/4 of an ounce or 22.5ml of my Velvet Falernum. And then we're going to give it a quick shake with ice. We don't need to do a huge shake, we just need to get all of our ingredients kind of mixed and incorporated, because we are going to be serving it at the end over the top of ice. So just give it a quick shake to mix it. Okay, and I think that is nicely mixed now, so I'm going to bang the top off our shaker tin and get ready to strain it out. We're going to be straining out onto a little cup filled with like crushed pebble ice. Oh, I can already smell the really nice raspberry flavour coming off of that. Just nice and quick, pour it out, just like that. Oh yes, right to the top. And then we're going to do a little garnish. So for the garnish, I've got here a little wheel of lime, a little bit of a raspberry, pop it up, just like that. And that right there is how I make a Bronx Cheer. Now real quick before I taste this cocktail, if you're new here, scroll down, hit that thumbs up button, hit that subscribe button. I put out whiskey reviews every Wednesday, like the review of that Irishman Caribbean Cask, but I also put out cocktail recipes featuring whiskey like this every Friday. So if you want to see more like that, make sure you hit that thumbs up button, hit that subscribe button, and leave me a comment down below and say what kind of cocktail you think I should make in the future. But now, let's taste this one. Cheers. Oh, that is nice. It is really rich. Like, you do get a backbone of the whiskey. You do get like that oaky, spicy flavor of the whiskey coming through, but you also get the sweetness of the Falernum, the natural sweetness of the lime, and the sweetness from that raspberry syrup. You get all that raspberry flavor as well. It's quite rich and dense and thick, but it's not overly sweet because the lime juice adds this little bit of a zing, a little bit of a cut across, and it does give us this nice kind of balance of the flavors. The bit of Falernum there, it does have this nice recognizable quality to it, so you do get, like Falernum, it is used in a lot of these cocktails, so you do get that kind of recognizable kind of tiki, kind of tropical vibe, and I think it just works really, really well in here. So I don't know why I put it down, because I'm definitely going to keep on enjoying it, and I'll see you next time. Slán.